Alrighty. Alright. Hello, friends. Welcome in, welcome in. We are in an event today, and it is all about autism awareness, my friends. All about autism awareness. So, come on in, and let's spend some time together. So I am just getting off of from teaching, so I haven't been able to see anybody who was before me, but we still have a lineup ready for the rest of the evening. So we had Miss Raven from Crafty Fornication, then we had Miss Jennifer from the Sweet Angels Crafts, followed by our hostess, Miss Amy. She was on at 3. Then Mary Lou just got done with Loving Your Home Space. You have me right now at 5. Then we have Miss Yachty at 6 with Yachty's Workshop. We have Miss Lily with Lil's Craft and Things at 7. Kathy from Happy Crafting Circle will be on at 8. Miss Trudy with Made It Personal Catering by Trudy will be on at 9. I will be back on at 10. And then closing us out will be Miss Glenna from Creating Decor with Glenna. So welcome in, guys. I hope that you have been following along. Again, you can watch all of the event replays and everything at Crafty Friends Unite event group. Hi, Miss Mary. Hello there, Miss Amy. Thank you for spreading me. Hi there, Miss Trudy, Miss Bonnie. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. So, I have an idea in my head. Gonna see how that goes. It doesn't always go the best, but we're gonna try and see if it'll work. Yeah. And let me just finish to get myself spread out here, and we will get rolling. Hello there, Miss Kimberly. Welcome in, Kimberly. I hope that you are having a wonderful evening. All right. Make sure that volumes are turned down. Okay. So, welcome in, everybody. I hope everybody is doing wonderful today. Okay. So, I am going to make like a mini journal out of some leftover board that I had from our Scrabble day. I'm doing well, dear. Thank you for the sprinkles. So, I work today, so I'm just getting home. Kind of out of breath a bit. Trying to get all set up and grab some stuff and everything else, and then had a whole conversation with my daughter about why I should not be using a puzzle piece. So, there's that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really, really do. So again, I'm just using up some leftover Scrabble board from the game that I had left over from when I cut it to do my Scrabble journal. And we're actually going to create the spine, and we're going to do some funky mixed media stuff to the top of it, okay? Because one of the things, and the most important thing, is that we need to be celebrating the beauty of each and every one of us, no matter what we have going on, because, you know, I always tell my kiddos, you know, I ain't right. Nobody's 100% right. We all have our things, and it's come out more and more of people being. So Caroline's stance on the puzzle piece says, but she's camera with an association that recommends physical correction of children with autism, and like when they are having, you know, whether it's an episode or they're just in their emotions, that you should essentially almost kind of like restrain them and tackle them to the floor so that, to calm them down. And she was saying that there's been a lot of outrage on that because that is not always the way that it needs to be done, because it gets abused. So she was telling me that a lot of awareness now is on the infinite rainbow sign, that is becoming the sign that is used for autism awareness. And I was like, okay. Yeah, like I told you, she had this whole thing, and I told her she needed to be the one up here. It's like, you need to come and sit down and explain everything. She does a lot of reading and research on stuff, so, don't get me wrong, sometimes we have our arguments because some things are a little too much, and other things she's right. So, but that is what she was telling me, and I was like, okay. I'm like, well, the way I see it, and I'm not going to associate it with that. I was like, the way your mama sees it is, every single one of us is a piece in this life. And, I was like, just like you are a piece of me, you're not exactly like me, even though you come from me. And, she has her own struggles. She has really bad anxiety. Both of us battle depression. Functional depression is definitely one thing that I tend to struggle with. And so in a lot of cases I understand her and what she's going through, and other stuff I'm a little old school, and I'm like, just get up and go do something. But that is the functional side of me. And also my father always pushed us to, we could never, sit back and say that something was wrong with us. And I know that's a lot of the old school mentality. And recognizing that, everybody does have their own little quirks, and for whatever reason it is, whether it is medical, whether it is trauma, whether it is psychological, mental, anything, that does not make you less. Hi there, sweet Sheila. And my nephew, he is autistic. He was diagnosed in first grade. His preschool teacher, who had known him from preschool and kindergarten, she was the one who actually told my sister that she needed to get him tested for Asperger's. We'd never heard of that. Had no idea what it was. Hello there, Lenora. Welcome in. She asked me because at the time I was in medical school. I was like, I have no clue what that is. I'd not heard of it. I was like, ask me something about biology and I could tell you, but I was like, I'm not there. I have no clue what that is. And she did. She went and had him tested, and sure enough, yes he did, or yes he does. He is high functioning Asperger's. And nowadays Asperger's has been just lumped in essentially with autism. So, hi there, Miss Elizabeth. which I think is a disservice, honestly, to just, because there are specific things and traits to each condition, and to just want to lump everything under one umbrella, I don't think is the correct attitude. But it has been a struggle with him. It definitely explained his abrupt outburst, why he was so protective, in ways that were not, necessarily typical. Like, a kid is protective of his toys and stuff. We know this. But he was, like, overly zealous for stuff. And we just thought that that's how he was. And learned that he had Asperger's, along with being type 1 diabetic. So whenever his sugar would drop, which we did not know at the time, that just made things worse with the Asperger's. He would be a lot more irritable, and things of that nature. So it was a learning curve. Still very hard for him to express himself. Like right now, my sister is pregnant, and he is 21. And I asked him, how did he feel? And his answer was he was not sure about it. That he still needed to think about it. Which we have come to learn is a very normal answer for him. It takes him a lot longer to process situations and things that are happening than it would for somebody else. They shouldn't narrow the field and say that yes, exactly, because it's not all the same. And I agree, that should not be the case, because it does a big disservice to those who need the help. And sadly, biggest problem you have is that a lot of this ends up coming down from the big pharmaceutical companies, and lawmakers that have no medical background, so. But, if you think that something is not right, as a parent, we are our biggest advocate for our children. And, whenever they kept on trying to say to my sister when he was like in preschool and stuff that, oh, he's just a problem child. He just wants to, fight with everybody and this, that, the other. And we're like, no, that's not him. It's got to be something else. And then he just keeps on getting labeled as the problem kid, the problem kid, the problem kid. It was very validating that somebody noticed the struggle other than my sister. Hey there, our unique touch. Thank you for coming in and sprinkling. I appreciate that. I really do. Alright. So I am going to attempt. Now this is a piece of, you can see there's all kinds of stuff on here. So I'm just going to try to see if I can punch through this. I had thought about asking hubby to cut some pieces out on the laser, but I was like I should have a thing somewhere. And I should be able to get, and I was watching a tutorial on how to use this so that you can actually get different pieces. Hey there, Miss Yachty. Welcome in, friend. I'm evidently not doing it right. Yes, you know, it's important to bring awareness because there are a lot of beautiful, beautiful beings in this world that struggle with autism. And it's hard. It's really hard. And you know, you live in a world where everything, it's like a, think about it like a left-handed person. Alright? Because I saw that with my bonus kiddo. Everything is made for a right-handed person. And then here comes a left-handed child, and nothing works for them. And what do I mean by that? Like, you know, all the settings, like electronically, the way that our books are bound, everything is made for a right-handed person. Handles on things are made for a right-handed person. This one was one, I don't know if I got this one at a Goodwill or what, but this one is, I think it's an EK, yeah, it's an EK Success. I have seen, Timu has one like it. Has something very, very similar to it. So if you are looking for something, you might be able to find one there. That's not gonna work. Unless maybe I do it this way. This is starting to get a little complicated. They're all gonna have an edge to them, but it'll be alright. They'll work. It'll work. That's what matters. Because I am trying to get some different shaped ones, but not the best of success as of right now. Like I said, there was a whole tutorial on how to use this one shape and get all the shapes so that they can fit together. And I thought it was really cool, but of course then I can't remember what the heck I'm doing. So, oh no, you're quite welcome. Keep your eye out at your local thrift stores, because that's where many times you can find things like these. Like I said, that's I'm almost certain that that's where I found mine. Was at a thrift store. That's where I find a lot of my stuff, is at a thrift store. Alright, so let's work with that for now. Oh, see, you have one from Amazon. There you go. I understand. I definitely can understand. And I'm sorry that things are hard. You know, mobility. You know, not every place is friendly to people with mobility issues. You know, that's one of the things that, as me and my friend are trying to put together retreats, we are noticing that, you know, when you start asking about, you know, how do you accommodate mobility issues, people tend to be a bit at a loss. And it's like, we know that there's a lot of people out there with mobility issues. So hopefully you guys can see kind of what I'm trying to go for here. Trying to do like the rainbow, the ribbon. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. I'm trying to build the ribbon. That's what I'm trying to do. Get it together. Yeah, try Amazon. If Miss Amy was able to find it there, that's pretty neat. Oh, should not surprise me because Amazon carries everything. I mean, you can do your grocery shopping on Amazon nowadays. That still surprises me. Like, I understand getting my groceries from like Kroger and, you know, Walmart and stuff, but yeah, that's still kind of shocks me. Alright, so let's try to get all of these glued on. You know, you think about how much medicine has evolved, and I mean, now we understand that a lot of these things are due to, a lot of things that may happen to somebody are due to like autism. And to think that, you know, back in the days, if you want to say it that way, you were just seen as like maybe a problem kid, or, you know, you were brushed to the side. I am grateful that things have become better, but there's still so much work to be done. Because the biggest problem still lies in acceptance and, you know, people understanding that just because someone may be verbally different, express themselves differently, process things differently, does not mean that they are less. By no means. Like I said, you know, saw that a lot with my nephew, because, you know, especially coming from a third world country, it's just like, nah, he's just being a problem kid. That's it, you know. There's no adaptability or things to help. Like, my sister struggled a lot in school because there was no help. There was no support. you know, heck, medically, even for his diabetes, she had to go every day at lunch to do his glucose and stuff, and give him his insulin, because nobody at the school, not even the school nurse, wanted to take on that responsibility. You know. Alright. Now we're going to give this all a coat of white, and then we're going to come in and individually color each piece. So I am going to use a chalk paint for this. And like, there is no homeschooling option. So while I was able to homeschool my children, for whatever reasons I chose to, you know, she couldn't. So he had to be in public school, and, you know, he had to be in the school system. He had to, you know, even though they would, like I said, consider him and labeled him a problem kid, he still had to be in the actual school system. And so, of course, when he would encounter a bully, his reactions was not always the best. And it's probably how most of us would have reacted, but that would immediately make for trouble and have to go to, you know, a different school or things of that nature. You just use tacky glue? Cool. I have to try that. I wonder if the consistency of tacky glue has less water in it, and that's why it didn't wrinkle for you. Oh, come on. I'm trying to get one hair off, and then there's like a gazillion hairs. And I don't know if those are brush hairs or cat hair. Sometimes around here you don't know. So, I guess I say all of that to say that while I know that the school system in the U.S. may not be perfect, and yes, schools in other countries tend to educate their children a lot more than the testing ideology that we use here in the States. But as far as having systems in place to help and assist children and their parents, we definitely are blessed with that. Miss Amy, did you ever go back to Michael's and go look for the stickers, the sticker books? I was wondering if you ever did. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because usually the biggest reason why we have issues of wrinkling with glues is the water content. Oh, you did look online? See, I tried to look online and it told me that there wasn't anything available. And I'm like, look, I literally just saw them in the store. What do you mean that there isn't anything available? So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to the store. Like, it wasn't showing me any. Wasn't showing me the Care Bear one, the strawberry shortcake, the rainbow. It wasn't showing me any of them. I was like, nah, I know I just saw them, because I was flipping through them. Okay, so other than the straggle hairs that are in there, I think it actually came out pretty cool. And now we can add, we'll be able to add our colors to this. And this is going to make for a really fun cover. I am. Yes, ma'am. That is exactly what I am doing. And trying to get the cover part done. And then when I come back at 10, we will assemble pages, sew them in, and what have you. Come on, why there's so many of these little hairs? Ugh, horrible brush. It's either that or my cats are leaving me hairs again. It's one or the other. Okay, so it is chalk paint. I am going to dry it just a little bit. And if you don't have a punch, you can use just old puzzle pieces. Now, I personally do not trust a puzzle from a thrift store unless it's like completely sealed and brand new. They're usually always missing a piece or two. It's the whole reason why they got donated. But then that makes for great little pieces to journal with. So, you know, sometimes you can, you know, pick one up for near nothing. Alright, now where are my markers? Okay. Why do I not have a yellow? I attached a napkin to a paper lunch bag. End up with at least a few wrinkles. Yep, that is very, very true. They normally do leave us with wrinkles. Well, these are fine tip, and I think that that's going to take me forever if I use those. So, let me see if I have brush tips. Why in the world? Y'all, look what I found inside my drawer that says brush tips. Oh my gosh. I literally have it labeled brush tips, and I open it up and the first thing I find is an old Christmas craft. Like, what the world? There we go. That's gonna be faster. If not, we're gonna be here all night. And I do not have all night. Because we gotta go see what Miss Yachty's gonna do. I will be back at 10, however, so y'all can come and watch me get this journal pretty much finished up. I'm gonna go see if I have a cute fabric. If not, I do have some really nice like rainbow style paper that I'll use on to cover the inside. It happens more than I know. I'm just like, what in the world am I doing with that there? But yeah, it's like I would have been looking for that and would have never found it. I have a part on my shelf for unfinished projects or projects that can be added to another project, like that. And it didn't go there. It ended up with my brush tip pens. So you really don't see this yellow that much. Let's see. That's definitely brighter, but that'll help. So I do want to get all of the different colors on here, because that is one of the beautiful things with the colors of the rainbow. It really reminds us that, you know, we're all unique and we're all part of this beautiful world. Happens to me all the time. The other day I found mini hinges in the frame. I think if Gare or Caroline would find something like that, I think I would not hear the end of it. Like, there's already stuff, my stuff is already all over the house. If it ended up inside the fridge, I think that'd be like, as we say in Espanol, we say el colmo. That would be like, that'd be it. Like that'd be like the right. I think at that point Gary would just throw his hands up and be like, I'm done. I'm done. I know, right? I am too. I'm like, oh my word. Y'all, so my coffin journal left today for its new home. Mail came and picked it up. Now on to the next big journal that I'll be creating. I'll be doing the journal that is the example for the July retreat, along with one for the retreat in Pennsylvania in October. So I'll be working on those things. Add this brown one here. No, I did not. I did not win. I didn't even make it in the top 5 this time. But you know what? It's okay. I had fun making it, and that's what matters. I mean, it tested my patience, don't get me wrong. My creative patience, it did. But I am ready for the next challenge. Like I told somebody, you know, you compare my style of journal to the ones that do win, and they're usually the frilly, foofy, all the lacy things, and that's just not my style. So as Gary says, I would not be happy making it, so why make it? thank you. Thank you, Miss Elizabeth. I would love that. Yeah, Miss Amy had a bit of a gap, so she was trying to fill, and I was like, well, I can come back on. I don't mind. I was like, plus, that way maybe I can actually finish something. You've put your glasses in the refrigerator? Now, you know what? My dad did that. I remember that one time. I remember he was going crazy trying to find his glasses. And I don't know why he had taken them off to put milk in his coffee and had left them in there. And he couldn't find them. And I went to go prepare dinner for that night. And I walked into his office and I was like, they were in the fridge. So, yeah, that one does, I don't know why, but that one does happen sometimes. That one does tend to happen. Let's put this lighter blue up here. I do like how it's making the awareness ribbon. I do like that. And because these are like alcohol brushes, it is drying pretty quickly on the chalk paint. So we can immediately come back in and do some little highlights on it. So we'll do that here in a bit. I mean, look, y'all, I left my phone inside the fridge one time, okay? I was looking for my phone, couldn't find it. Evidently, I had gone to the fridge with my phone in my hand and left it inside of the fridge. Don't ask me. It happens. That's all I can say is it happens. In certain things, I am a creature of habit, and if I don't put my phone or my glasses, you know, like in places like I normally do, like a routine, then I'm like lost. I like totally cannot find anything, and I just feel completely lost. And I tend to lose things. Like if for some reason I need my wallet, if I don't go and put it right back into my purse, I will not be able to find it later. Because I am a creature of habit. It has to go, my phone has to go on the charger. My glasses have to be on my side table. You know, it's like there has to be like a certain routine. And if I break the routine, then I'm lost. That's not good. That's never good. Let's add some purple. Y'all know I love me some purple. Hey there, Miss Alicia. How are you doing, my friend? It's been a bit. I've seen you on others' lives when I'm watching, but it's been a bit since I've seen you here. How you doing, sweetie? So I'm not gonna lie, Miss Amy. I am probably going to go and take a nap. And then be back at 10. Because normally I come back from teaching and I take a nap at 5. Wake up, take care of dinner, and then get ready for my lives, because normally I go live later. So I may have to catch anybody's replays, so y'all forgive me. Let's get some orange in here. I was visiting your sister in New Jersey and I put the remote crocheting bag and took it home. Oh my gosh. You know what? That is actually very funny. Did you have to mail them the control bag? So yeah, I will probably have to catch some lives later tonight. Because my body is telling me that it needs a nap. Marathon. Yeah, there you go. See, marathon with me. Yep. Yep. There we go. And why not? Let's put a gray in here, because you know what? Every piece is beautiful. I saw one day on Facebook that they had your foster dad, your wife, you know. Wow, really? Oh, I'm sorry. That had to be hard. Oh, okay. Well, that was good then, Miss Elizabeth. That worked out. But that's funny though. You know, that's definitely one thing, like, I have to be very careful not to bring anything back with me. Because if not, sheesh, my family ain't getting it back anytime soon. Not at all. Okay, now where is... Alright. So I'm going to use just a permanent, you know, very small Sharpie. Or a fine tip like the ones I had pulled out earlier. And I'm just going to do like a stitch going around all of these. Tamarathon. That's funny. Remember you telling me about your brother. I'm sorry. There's just a lot going on. So we're just going to do like little stitches going around the pieces. And this is something that you can do pretty much to anything to give it movement and a texture to it. And all you're doing is little dashes. It's nothing super complicated. And you can do this in black or with like a white gel pen. But these colors are kind of light, so I really don't want to do the white. Especially considering that I have the cream on the background. So. Something fell behind me. You trying to trick me again? Has anybody ever tried to do the faux stitching like this before? Talking about stitching, I actually have to finish a little stitching project that I was doing with my daughter during her sewing class. We made some stuffies. Her teacher was showing them how to make little stuffies. So see how that looks? So it looks like they're little stitched quilted pieces. You know what, Miss Alicia? I have no clue what I'm gonna have for dinner. Right now, all I know is I want my bed. But I know I'll have to get up and make something, because if not, my daughter's gonna be like, Mom, you think the child was 5. Yeah, I know, I still spoil her. She is the last one. Of course, my oldest called me yesterday, and I was like, everything okay? And he was like, yeah, Mom. Mom, what was that soup you'd get us from the Chinese restaurant when we had a cold? And I'm like, hot and sour? It's like, yeah, that one. I'm trying to get it. And I'm like, why? What's wrong? He said, no, Ashley's sick. And he told me today that his girlfriend told him that he was super sweet for taking care of her and bringing her all these like remedies while she was feeling sick. And he's like, well, I was taught right. And I'm like, aw, thank you, baby. So, I know, right? Doing the little stitches like this, I mean, it is a little consuming, but it is so, so cool. Because it does give that illusion that you have a piece of fabric on here. And you can even do it on fabric and it'll look like you stitched it even though you didn't. You just glued it. You can still do that. So when we come back, we're going to finish the cover, because I want to cover the back here. And then we'll put some pages on the inside as well. So again, stick around because there's a day full or an evening full of wonderful creators. The lineup is amazing. Miss Amy does really, really wonderful with her events. And I'm always honored to be asked and allowed in to be part of them. So just stick around, and like I said, you'll get a double dose of me today because I'm trying to help fill in gaps. And we'll actually get to work some more on this project together. And I think this is an important little reminder journal for us to always look at everyone with kindness, because you never know what somebody is going through. You know, we tend to forget that, especially in this very fast-paced world that we live in, or society that we live in, really. Sadly, the society that we live in is not conducive to a lot of things. So I will be back on at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah. Set. Alright, I will look at it. I know you'll be live, but I will look at your PM, my dear. I will definitely check it out. I know I have to get in contact with a few people who were messaging me. I'm hosting a raid train on Friday, and my co-host was messaging me, and I'm like, I'm teaching. I'll get back to you tonight. And then my friend who I'm hosting retreats with needed some answers, and I'm like, girl, y'all gotta wait, because when I'm around these kids, I can't be grabbing my phone. So we're almost to our time, at least for our first segment together today. And remember that up after me is going to be Miss Yachty from Yachty's Workshop and Friends. She is going to be our next presenter here at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. And stay tuned. Crafty Friends is awesome at it. So, look at that. Look at how pretty that came out. I think that looks really, really cute. What y'all think? So, these are the 2 pages that I pulled out because they're kind of rainbow. So, like, this goes from the pinks into the purples, and then this one is because there will be a little